Hey, it's Hugh Foster here. Time for another bass line. This is BL005, I think, and this is kind of like a funky pick sort of thing. This is kind of influenced by people like, well, Bobby Vega is probably the main guy to go to for that kind of funk pick kind of stuff, but also Carol Kay. Who's a great session player who played all kinds of things, always pretty much used a pick. And then also it seems to be making a sort of resurgence as guys like Cody Wright. So you should check all of those out if you don't know them already. So yeah, the key thing is that, well, let's look at the right hand first. Slight palm muting. And 16ths, or if you want to use the European, I guess, term, semiquavers, just going pretty much constantly. And so you're either palm muting, and if you're not sure how to palm mute, hand pretty much like that, straight down, and then bring the pick up and just kind of just relaxed and pick like that. And you know, you can varying amounts of pressure on the strings, but I think just a medium amount, you know, you don't have too much, otherwise you smother it and it doesn't sound as clear. So yeah, there's that. That's the right hand really. Left hand, it's kind of a mixture of just kind of keeping the 16ths going in the right hand, and with the left hand, when you're not making a note, you're ghosting, you're just kind of like resting your hand on the strings themselves, so you get that nice sort of funky sort of like percussive sound. So that's the key to getting the sound right. And for the actual riff itself, here it is slowed down. Okay, and I'll talk through some of the theory behind it as well after that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's basically it. What I did the second time through is added a little fill. So let's have a look at that in context, and then let's have a look at it on its own as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's go through the theory behind that little lick that I just did there. So it's over an E flat 7 chord, but it's got a few little extras in it. So what I do in the rest of the riff is just play the root, the major third, and the flattened 7th to make it the general sort of building blocks of a dominant 7th chord. What it's also got added to it is a sharp 5. Alright, so that's got that augmented sound, an augmented chord, so basically built up of major third to major third to major third. So So it's got that in it, but it's also got a sharp 9, which gives it a really nice sort of crunchy kind of hip sound. You might recognise it as the sort of Hendrix chord, as it's sometimes known, because Jimi Hendrix used it all the time. But the main building blocks of that is like, so you got the root, major third, 7th, and then the sharp 9, which also kind of, in terms of theory, translates as a minor third. So you've got a minor third going along with the major third. So you end up with this horrible clash bit. Doesn't sound quite so good in that register on bass, but you might recognise that as this. There's the chord that's in like what's it, Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix. If you're new to this kind of thing, so there's that, right? And you can also play what's known over that. It's sometimes known as an altered chord, but there's also an altered scale, and that's got some of those notes in it, and that's what I based the lick on the end on. So it's got that E flat, and then let's call it an F flat, just because you don't want an E flat and F natural, yeah. Sorry, an E natural, E flat. So that's the altered scale there. So it's got that really sort of dark sound at the bottom of it, and then from this point onwards, it's like a whole tone scale. And whole tones where you just go up, you skip out, you go up tone by tone by tone by tone, and it sounds really, really bizarre. So yeah. I think that's it. It's been a while since I looked at this kind of stuff myself. But yeah, that's the altered scale, and the lick kind of just uses some of those bits and then goes a bit chromatic at the end. So at the end, you've got to put in a little trill there. So tricky thing, because you've got to move across the strings, and I suggest practicing it slowly at first, and then you'll get the hang of it. So that's that part, and yeah, the rest of the tune, just so you know, it's like it's basically 3 chords. The first one, that's like an A flat minor 7. You could say G sharp minor 7, and it probably is correct, but I don't know. In my head, it just makes more sense to call it an A flat. I don't know why. So it's an A flat minor 7, and then the next one, that's like a D flat chord. It's in this case, it's a D flat dominant 7th, but it's over an F. So it's a first inversion of that D flat chord. Okay, and then the next one, you get up to, actually you start on the 3rd of the E flat 7th chord, and this is the one that's the where we put that lick later on. So that's the basic harmony there. What else we've got going on here? Yeah, we've got another little lick as well, which just starts to throw in towards the end. Let's hear how that one sounds. See if I can do this one now. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so yeah, kind of one that kind of carries on past the the usual sort of place where you'd kind of improvise, but it's kind of cool when that kind of thing happens, I think. Yeah, all the notes of an E flat 7 with a sharp 5. So it starts on the major 3rd. And then kind of back to normal there. Cool. That pretty much covers all of it. Yeah. If you want to download the backing track for this and the transcription, then head over to my website. All right, and keep practicing it, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.